Good morning. There ain't nothing out there. Quit barking. I'm live. Jeez, dog. I feel like my brain is all over the map. Good morning, y'all. I was trying to read y'all's messages, see what y'all talking about. I saw you talking about the hurricane. Yeah, I was on Jake's live for a little bit, making sure that everybody was all right. I saw that. Hey, stop! I may have to shut these curtains. I saw that they're okay, so that was good news. Oh, my peacocks are still out here. I don't know if y'all saw my reel this morning, but my dogs were going crazy, and I looked out the window, and my peahen was standing in the middle of the road. And I just feel like everything is a money pit. I mean, it's like this. Like, I told y'all my education center is becoming a money pit. It's like every time I turn around, it's $500. And then let's see, I am in the process of having the jail cell built for the pigeons because they don't have anywhere to roost. So that needs to be done so I can take the tarp off the back. So the back of the pigeon coop butts up against the woods. And I was afraid that if I took the tarp off the back, it would bring predators in. They would see them in the enclosure and bring predators in. So I have left that up until the jail cell gets here so the pigeons can go inside somewhere to roost. So I've got that. And then the peacock enclosure has been needing to be done, but it's like there's one of Shane, right? He's been focusing on the education center, and there's so much that needs to be done. There's like 400 projects. So I'm trying to go, okay, let's put everything in order by importance, And I was like, okay, I have to get the air conditioning into the education center for the bunnies because the bunnies are wool. Got that. Now, the pigeons need an enclosure for their safety, and I need to take off that tarp so they won't be hot. That should happen this weekend. Money pit, money pit, money pit. And then the peacock enclosure. Well, that's not just this little bitty coop, right? It's going to have to be massive, and it's got to be big because I have 4, and there's been opportunities for me to rescue a couple, but I don't have an enclosure, and I'm not about to rescue a peacock because they're not going to stay. And so it needs to be really high and really big. So like, it's just like when you get a farm, I will tell you. So there's been several people that want to be Judy. Okay. They want a petting zoo, and they want, to have people on their property. And I don't know, I guess I make it look all easy, but I'm here to tell you that if you want to do what I do, you're gonna be broke. Like this doesn't bring an income. When you have a farm, it's more of a hobby because it's constant. It is constant build. It's constant vet bills. It's constant feed bills. It's constant hay. It's constant cleanup. It's constant. And I don't know, I might make this look easy, but I start work, let's just say 7:00 because I go live. So I get up at 5:30, I go live at 7:30, and I don't come inside till 8:30 at night. So like, if I make this look all easy and fun, let me just tell you jokers that you're going to work your butt off. You're going to sweat all day long. You're going to be picking up 50-pound bags of feed. You're going to try to figure out how to do it by yourself, and you can't. It's just a lot. okay, sorry to get on that tangent, but sometimes it just feels overwhelming because when I see the peacock in the middle of the road, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm trying to pay for, the education center and the coops, now the peacock enclosure, and it feels. Get in the house! Gosh. They're not in the road. Peacocks go roaming. That's just what they do. They're roamers. They go visit. And so anyway, they're in the yard, but they'll go back. Taking the glasses off. Feel distracted, so I'm gonna take a sip. I'm gonna take a sip of vodka. Burns going down. Burns going down. I have yet to have a soda. This Wednesday will be 5 weeks. I'm to the point now where I have to think about how long it's been. I should go write down the day. I'm going to do that right now, just so I know what my sober anniversary date of Coke Zero is. Hang on. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. Okay, I started 5 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4. June the 5th. 0. No, Coke Zero. I don't even know how to say it. Coke Zero sobriety. I can't even spell. That way I'll just know. But, I told you guys it takes 21 days to make a habit. I'm past my 21 days and I'm no longer really struggling. It feels like, I will say that I'm trying to experiment with different ways of drinking water, meaning like I'm trying to research little healthy recipes to make my water flavored or a different taste. And when you're trying to change something that's a habit, especially with eating, okay? I talk about that in order to change your brain and your thought process, you have to have tools in your pocket. Well, I've realized that in order to change something that's physical, like you change your drinking or your eating, like things like that, when you're trying to change that, instead of the tools that you need to put in your pocket are different from the tools that you need in your pocket to cope with life. I've just realized that in the past week. So the tools that you need in your pocket to change your eating habits and to change your drinking habits, choosing healthier lifestyle, is you have to have emergencies in your pocket so that you don't make a wrong decision, because there's going to be time in life where you're busy or it's an impulse or things like that. And if you don't have an alternative to water, and that alternative is a tool in your pocket, there's chances that you might make a wrong decision and go grab a Coke Zero or something when you're trying to change drinking Coke Zeros. And what I mean by that is there's going to be times where you're out and about and you're sick of water. So what tool can you put in your pocket that's a quick, you're on the road choice so that you don't drink a Coke Zero? And I have found this. I told you guys about Sonic. Sonic's have the best drinks ever. So I have found that I love slushes, okay? Loaded with calories. Okay? So an alternative to a peach slush is water, lots of ice, sugar-free heavy peach syrup, and sugar-free heavy mango syrup, both sugar-free. 0 calories. It is, to me, it almost tastes just like a peach slush. The difference is, you know how when you drink those slushes, it gives you brain freezes? And it's hard, like, you after you've sucked all the juice out, it's hard to get the slush through your straw, and you're having to go like this constantly. The great news about this alternative to a slush is you don't get brain freezes. That's good. And you don't have to sit there and fight to get the slush through the straw. So it's actually better than a slush to me. So I've learned to like it. But even if you go get that drink, let's just say, and you're like, this doesn't taste the same, Aunt Judy's cuckoo. It does not taste like a peach slush. If you give it 21 days, it's almost like your taste buds adapt to the new taste. If you'll give it 21 days, you'll notice that you'll begin to start liking it and you'll begin to start craving it. So putting that tool, so you can think, okay, I'm out shopping. I'm dying for a Coke Zero. What's an alternative? Sonic. Sonic's water and flavor it. Okay. And if you don't care about calories per se, then get any flavor. I just don't like to drink my calories. I'd rather eat them. So I chose the sugar-free mango and peach syrup. But if you don't care about calories, there's a gazillion flavors that you can flavor the water with. And when you do the Sonic app, I forgot to tell you this. This is another great tool. A peach slush is like $3 or $2 and something. Water is like $1. So you're going to save money by making better choices because the slush costs a lot more money. So it's more affordable to get the flavored water. And when you use the Sonic app, drinks are half price. And you can choose light syrup, medium syrup, and heavy syrup. I go for the heavy, okay? But you can choose how much syrup you want to go in your water. Okay, so that is an alternative that I have found and I realize it's like you got to go to two places, like, because you're like, I don't want food from Sonic. I want to go to Zaxby's and have a salad. But their Coke Zeros are delicious at Zaxby's. So then I might go to Sonic to get my drink first and then go to Zaxby's to get my salad. I realize that's an extra step. But you have to have these tools in your pocket when you're trying to make better decisions for your health, okay? Because if not, you're going to be in a hurry and you're going to go grab a Coke Zero. So you have to come up with, okay, today I am going to do this. And what is my tool that I'm going to put in my pocket that when I become starving to death and grab a hamburger and French fry, what decision am I going to make? And you'll find that when you put that tool in your pocket, you'll pull out that tool when you're like, oh my God, I'm dying. I'm starving. I can't even think straight. I'm just going to Burger King, whatever. Like, when you put the tool in your pocket, your brain will automatically go to that tool in your pocket to go, nope, we're going to make good decisions today. What is a good decision? And this is me personally. You see that cowlick? This is me personally. When it comes to food, I really have to put tools in my pocket. And like the decisions I try to make with food is, first of all, Chick-fil-A is, to me, because you can get a grilled chicken sandwich, and you still can put lettuce and pickle and tomato and all that stuff on your sandwich. And then they make honey roasted mustard. Is that what it is? No, honey. I don't know. It's got less calories because a lot of calories are in condiments. And I found that honey roast stuff that they put on their chicken sandwiches are very low in calories. So when I'm in an emergency and I'm starving to death, Chick-fil-A is kind of my go-to. Chick-fil-A or Subway are my two go-tos because I don't have to think. I know. Like, I know in my head that a Chick-fil-A sandwich on Weight Watchers is 6 points. I automatically know that. So that's a go-to. So like trying to make those decisions, the tool that I put in my pocket is Chick-fil-A because I love Chick-fil-A's grilled nuggets. That's 0 points. Like if I'm starving to death and it's 10 o'clock and it's not ready for lunch and Chick-fil-A just opened, I'm like, oh, I can go get 8 grilled nuggets to get me through to whatever, to lunchtime. So put those while your brain is healthy and you're not starving and you're not thirsting to death and you're sitting in a quiet place, you need to think about what tools do I need to put in my pocket when I'm out to eat, when I'm starving to death, when I'm hungry, bored, when I'm thirsting to death and want a Coke Zero. What tool do I need to put in my pocket so that I make good decisions? And there's so many alternatives to water. They make that liquid that you can put in your drinks. You can stick that in your purse or your pocket. And, if you're at Walmart shopping for groceries, you can grab it water and pour a little bit in there, and it's a flavor and it's 0 calories. So those are things that you need to do in order to make better decisions, because part of being the best version of yourself is feeling good about yourself. If you don't feel good about yourself, you don't carry yourself well. You'll hide behind people because you don't want people to notice you, or things like that. It's something that you need to strive for every single day, is how to constantly improve yourself. And when you stop working on yourself is the second that you stop. Oh, I'm going to put I'll say it in a minute. The second you stop working on yourself is the second that you find yourself, you've just totally gone off the deep end. You know what I'm saying? But another thing is, when you go grocery shopping, have an emergency snacks in your house. A go-to when you're craving something, have that alternative in your pantry or in your refrigerator, so that you don't go grab a chocolate chip cookie. You make a better decision. Those are things that we have to think about. And today is Clean the Duck Pond Day. And I just did it not too long ago, and there's so much green slime. So today is Clean the Duck Pond Day, and give all the chickens medicine day, which means I have to do everybody's water because they have to have this medicine for 5 days. And I gave it to them Friday or Saturday. I can't remember. I got to do it till Thursday. And so I have to put medicine in everyone's water and so forth. So it's look like total Hello Kitty Day. Okay. But I am going to put on my makeup because I need sunscreen on so I don't get fried. All right, let's see. I'm trying to think which story to tell you. So give me a minute. I feel like I'm going to go with this story. And hopefully I'll tell it right. I'm still using Cowbell's lotion for my moisturizer, and I'm really liking it. It's not making my face greasy at all, and I've been using it since the day I got it, every single day, and I do like it. I do. All this heat and sweat, those got my face broke out. All right. Shane, if you're listening to me, I love you. Like I tell him this story. Okay. The other night, I think it was Friday night, not sure. Shane and I Shane was off Friday, so I can't remember exactly what we did Friday, but I went to the CPA's office, and Kayla was here doing the tour. I forgot what Shane was. Oh, Shane was helping Kayla's daughter build their little she's got several rings from softball. So Shane made her a little ring holder, and she wanted the ring holder to hold her softball. I'm assuming she hit a home run with it. So he was helping with that. And well, that night, this sounds like Shane is so frou-frou, and he's not. But I was at like CVS or somewhere, and they had one of those. Shane loves his feet. Like, he likes his toes popped. He's a weirdo. He likes his toes popped, and he likes you to massage his feet and stuff like that. So I found this foot file, but it's like it's one that is battery operated, and it spins and it files your feet down like your calluses. And I was like, oh, Shane will love this. So I had one of those. So he got out of the shower, and I had not gotten in the shower yet. I was drinking vodka on the couch, and he said, Judy, where is the foot file? And I said, it's in your dresser, bottom drawer to the right. That's what I said. Then I start hearing, it ain't in here. Where else could it be? And I'm like, I have no idea. That's where I put it. And the last time that foot file was used, Journey May was here, my niece, and she was using the foot file on me and Shane's feet because she loves to give massages, and she loves to like pamper you. She's the sweetest little girl. So I said, I don't know. That's the only place I would put it. And he goes, well, it ain't here. Where is it? And he starts being kind of, pain in the butt talking. And I said, I don't know. And then he goes into this rampage. Everywhere you land, something drops. You never put things back where they belong. And this is why we can't find nothing around the house. There's bottle caps everywhere. And everywhere you just put something down, you never put it up. This is why we can't find anything in the house. And I'm just like, who pissed in your cornflakes? Like, daggum. And I'm ignoring him. I'm just sitting here listening, and he's going on this rampage how I'm a total train wreck. I'm a total train wreck. Don't put anything back. And I am sitting there getting like madder and madder. And I'm like, I can't, at this point, you're like, I can't stand him. Like, I'm sleeping in the other room because he gets on my flipping nerves. You're at this point. And he must have went off about me being a train wreck for about 10 minutes. Because he was so mad because he couldn't find the foot file. And so I stopped talking to him. I'm like, when you go off on these rampages, I am going to just shut my mouth and ignore you. So I come in the bedroom, and by this time he's because when I go into silent mode, he catches on that he's being ugly. Cause like sometimes he's just going off and he don't even know what he's saying. Cause I could repeat back what he said. He's like, that I didn't say that. I'm like, do I need to get the phone out and record it next time so I can let you hear what a jackleg you sound like when you start doing this? So I get in the shower. I'm not speaking. Get in the shower, not speaking. And then he's trying to be nice in the bed. He's like, well, what did the CPA say today? I'm like, don't talk to me. Why? Because you're a jackleg. That's why. Don't talk to me. Don't talk to me. So we went to bed without speaking. Well, that was Saturday. So then Sunday came. I'm still mad. Okay. I still don't like him. I still think he's a jackleg. And so I'm just ignoring him, but then I'm like, okay, I need to get over myself, and then I ended up fixing breakfast. I made hash browns and eggs and cinnamon rolls and all this stuff. And, he's just as nice as he can be. And he goes outside to start working. And Sunday, I was trying to work on my inside of my house. I was like, I need to vacuum and dust and mop these floors and all this stuff. And for some reason, I said, let me go see if that file's in there, because that's where I put it every time. Y'all, I went into his dresser and I pulled out the bottom right drawer, and there is the foot file. So then I'm like, that freaking idiot. I'm like shooting him out at this point. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, what the heck? He's so goofy. Like, I literally told him the bottom right drawer of the dresser. So then I'm like, I'm fixing to march myself out here and rip him a new one. So I start going outside because I'm going to rip him a new one, right? I start going outside. Ain't marriage fun? So I start going outside, and as I rounded the house, he had made this beautiful, like he was out there with his not skid steer, excavator. He was out there with his excavator knocking down trees to make me a path, because I asked him to make a path for me to ride my side-by-side on, because I want to ride around the whole property with people. I don't want to just go one. So he was out there clearing off this path on the other side of our property so I could take the side-by-side. And I was like, oh, ain't he sweet? Oh, he's the best husband in the whole wide world. You go from calling him a jackleg to going, oh, he does everything for me. Oh, he's so sweet. And then I had the flashback of the foot file, and I was like, when that joker gets off that excavator, I'm finna rip him a new one. So he sees me out there. And he starts getting off, because I had the dogs with me too. So he backs the excavator off and he gets up, and I said, oh, you're clear. I said, oh, you're clearing a path. He went, yeah, I was trying to, kind of clear a path for you to ride the side-by-side on around the property. I was like, that's so sweet. I said, but sit down. I need to have a talk with you. He was like, what'd I do? And I'm like, sit down. I don't care that you're making me a trail. Sit down. And he was like, wait. And I said, where did you look for the foot file when I told you to look for it? And he said, in the dresser beside my bed in the bottom drawer. I went, you are a DA. And he was like, why? I said, the thing beside your bed is not a dresser. It's a nightstand. He goes, no, it's not. It's a dresser. I went, Shane, the things that are beside our bed are called nightstands. They're not called a dresser. They're called a nightstand. Your dresser is what you put your clothes in, DA. And he was like, what are you talking? Why are you saying that? And I said, you looked in the bottom drawer of the nightstand and began to chew me out for 10 minutes. I had to sit and listen to what a train wreck I am because I don't put things back. And there's bottle caps everywhere. And the entire single time, it was in the bottom dresser right drawer. And he went, oh, I'm sorry. No, yeah. You sorry? Straight up sorry. That's what I told him. It's like, you as sorry as they come. You as sorry as they come. I was like, when I tell you where things are, I said, you automatically assume you go into the nightstand when I didn't say go into the nightstand. I said go into the dresser. And because you're a dumb butt and don't know what the difference in a dresser and a nightstand are, I get chewed out. And he starts going, I'm sorry. Yeah, straight up sorry as a freaking grasshopper. I don't know. Sorry. Straight up sorry. So anyway, I began to tell him that I was going to forgive him for this one. I said, you've had me mad at you for 24 hours. I have been stewing, ticked off at you because you were ripping me a new one. I'm like, that's not nice. Your words mean a lot. Like people, I said, you can't be ugly to people and expect people to get over it in 5 minutes like you do. Because that don't work around here. So I want to talk about, like, this is what I was thinking in my head. Do you find yourself mad at your spouse because something they say, per se, let's just say, and you stay mad for over 24 hours? Maybe you stay mad for a week. You hold grudges, because I find myself holding grudges all the time. I do. And that's not something I'm proud of, but I do. It's like when something happens, I store it in my head and I will sit and stew over it Shane's over it in 5 minutes. I'm not. I'm stewing over it and like calling him every name in the book in my head for like weeks if I don't address it. And I realized how unhealthy that is, because like when you're holding a grudge against someone, what do you know what you do? Like when you're holding the grudge, this is what I do. My brain is set on replay. It's almost like I'm watching the same story a million times a day, because I'll play it, in my head, and then I play it again, and then I play it again, and I play it again. And the more that I play it, I start going, you start playing with things like, he didn't love me. She didn't love me. If she loved me, she wouldn't act like that. You start going, why'd she even marry me? Like, and the more you play that thing in your head, the more you start coming up with more and more stories that you're playing in your head, and you're telling yourself, because you're holding resentment. And then you find yourself, when you hold resentment, you withdraw. And I thought in my head, how do I not hold on to resentment? Because it causes me to grit my teeth. It causes hate in my heart. I talked to you guys about the word dialect. And the word dialect is something that I struggle with really bad. Dialect is when you go from one, I hate his guts, to, oh, he's the sweetest husband in the whole wide world. Literally quickly. Like you go into this dialect where it's like you can love him and hate him within 5 minutes. You hate his guts. He's the best husband ever. Literally in 5 minutes. I'm bad about that. And I realize that I'm like that. And it's like my counselor goes, Judy, you don't hate his guts, and he is not the best husband in the whole wide world. He's somewhere in between. You've got to quit going from one extreme to the other. You got to go, he's somewhere. He's not the worst husband, and he's not the best husband. He's somewhere in between. And I know that. But when I'm in the middle of resentment, my brain is all over the map. And sometimes when my brain is all over the map, it's hard for me to stop the replay in my head. Because when the replay hits, because the resentment is there, because I sit here and go, I sit here and take this abuse he gives me. This abuse that he gives me is freaking horrible. He abuses me. You know, you're like, and the worst that Shane says when he is in his, I call it throw up at the mouth. Shane throws up of the mouth. He says crap that's terrible sometimes. And I'm like, do you choose the most god awful words ever when you're mad? And I'm sure when he's in the midst of going, I can't find the footfall, and there's freaking bottle caps all over the freaking house. He goes, she drives me crazy, but she's the best wife. He probably is in dialect too, where he's extreme one way or the other. I think I've never really asked him, but I feel like he's all over the map as well, which we all are. But how do we keep ourselves from going to, I hate his guts? Literally hate. I wished he would go to our other house for at least give me a week break. Just one week to, oh, he's so sweet. He's out there clearing me a path. And oh my gosh, he listens to what I need, and he can do anything. He can do plumbing, he can do electrical, he can put in an air conditioning, he can rebuild. You like, my brain goes there. And I think with resentment, you know how sometimes you try to talk about it and it goes back to anger? Like, you're like, I can't even talk about it because when I talk about it, he just gets louder and meaner. Like, I can't talk about it. Resentment is a bad thing. It is. Because it means that we haven't forgave somebody. And sometimes it's hard to forgive someone. We could forgive someone, but it's hard to forgive and forget. Or it is for me. Because it sticks in this brain of mine and it sits on replay. It's hard to forget. So how do you forgive and forget and quit and get it off replay? I'm just going to tell you what works for me. You have to, we're all made differently. Our brains all work totally differently. So you have to decide what takes something off replay in your head, because I will replay it all night long in my head and can't sleep. Like, it totally robs me. Resentfulness totally robs me of my happiness and my joy. The only thing that I can do is get in my own lane and be confident in who I am. I have to constantly work on myself and constantly improve myself. So when someone says, I thought you were a sanctuary, and I see that you just breed animals. A real sanctuary is Cog Hill Farm. You're not a real sanctuary. Oh, where'd Mo come from? Cog Hill's a sanctuary? And I'm like, Mo came from my farm. Like, people that say things like that, you have to forgive and forget. Even though they say things that are not true, I have to forgive and forget. But I will say that the best thing for me with resentment is distraction. Distraction works for me. Get in here, rearrange your daggum bedroom, clean out a closet. I usually, when I distract myself, I have to do physical labor because it gets stuck in my brain and I can't I can't get it off replay. But if I go in there and do some physical labor, like clean out a duck pond and start sweating, where I'm like, ugh, when I'm doing the, ugh, it's like the replay stops in my head because I'm distracted with this freaking stinks. I'm sitting here with duck poop trying to lug it out of the duck pond into the what you know what I'm saying, like physical labor. Like I have to like get my heart rate up, like get to moving. I think that if I cleaned out a closet and wasn't sweating, I would have to turn on, I don't know, Bon Jovi, some not ZZ Top, some like jamming rock music and have it blaring and clean out the closet. Like I couldn't just have it quiet in my house and clean out the closet because it would still be stuck on replay in my head. I would have to be like jamming, like dancing physically, cleaning out the closet, like that's me. That might not be you. You've got to figure out what causes you to let the resentment go and forgive and forget. And you've got to recognize, I hate his gut. He's the best husband in the whole wide world. You got to feel the craziness within you. And I would love to tell you that I'm like that with just Shane, but I'm not. I'm like that with every single person. I go from one extreme to the other with my thought process, and it makes me feel crazy. So it's not like I just do that with Shane. I do it with my brothers. I do it with my children. I do it with everyone. So I know that the common denominator is me. It's me that thinks that. No, he's not the worst husband in the world, but he's not the best. He's somewhere in between. And I have to say that to myself. As soon as my brain starts doing that, I'm like, he's not the worst. He's not the best. He's somewhere in the middle. Somewhere in the middle. I have to tell myself that all the time. Let me put my lipstick on. I haven't even done my eyes yet. Yesterday, I could tell Shane was like looking for something to do. Like Shane has to have a project going on all the time. And I said, hey, let's go out there and fix, because right now, y'all, my farm is dead. Like I have no tours. I had no tours this weekend, but this happens because people go on vacation during the summer. It's hot during the summer. Animals are laying around and they're not really active because it's too hot. So they don't really want to be touched and loved on. So like this time of year, Sneed's Farmhouse goes to a halt because there's no field trips. I'm not going to the libraries. The summer reading program is over. Schools are out. People are on vacation. And the last thing that they're thinking about is going to a petting zoo. So this time of year is when I have to take advantage of making improvements on my farm and cleaning and things like that. So I said to Shane, when I could tell he was looking for something to do, I said, hey, why don't we go out there and fix this rock? I have this, over my big coop area, I have this rock liner, I guess you call it. Like, I put all these pebble rocks at the top of my, because it was at one point, I can't talk. Let me try again. There used to be grass all in my chicken yard. And there was one area that would not grow grass to save its life. So I made a little rock outline and put pebble rocks right there because I thought, that would look, and it looked so cute when I did it. It's become a train wreck because the chickens scratch. And then when it rains, my property's not level and the pebbled rock has gone into my chicken yard. And I hate it. So I said, Shane, let's work on this rock area because I need some bigger rocks I had little rocks, and the little pebble rocks were going. So I said, let's go to the creek and let's get some big rocks, because right now during the summer, my creek dries up. So if you're going to get some beautiful rock, it would be this time of year when there's no water in the creek, because Shane and I can go down there and get all kinds. There are a gazillion. I mean, so many rocks. It is unbelievable. I'm very lucky to have that. So he had gone to get some rocks, and he was on the excavator, and I was just sitting there watching him on the excavator, and I was like, well, I can't just stand here. What do I do? Like, I can't do nothing. He's on the excavator moving the rock around. What? Like, am I just going to sit here and watch him? No. So then I decided to start picking up pine cones. Okay. I was like, well, I can pick up some pine cones to make myself useful. So I started picking up pine cones, and I started becoming obsessed with picking up pine cones. Okay. I don't know how many pine cones were behind my chicken coop. I'm going to guess 5,000. And I picked up every single pine cone behind my chicken coop. Then I went to the other side of the property, and I picked up every single, and there was probably 6,000 pine cones. And I picked up every one of them because I was sitting there watching Shane. And it's almost as I felt jealous. I was sitting there thinking in my head, I was thinking in my head, I wish I could do that. Because he was on the excavator, like picking up rocks. And I'm like, if me and Kayla were out here trying to do this, me and Kayla would be trying to pick the son of the guns up, you know? Like, I was just looking at him, watching. I was like, as I was sitting there being jealous of him being able to do that with the excavator, I looked over to my brand new chicken castle, and a girl built that. Not a man. A girl built that chicken castle coop all by herself. And I was thinking, I'm so jealous. Like, I wish I could build something. Like, I wish I could. I don't know. All I can do is pick up freaking pine cones, you know? And I was just looking around, and I was just feeling like, wish I could build. If I could build, I could, like, I'd have the cutest chicken coops, but I can't do nothing but pick up pine cones. Like, I was just feeling sorry for myself. Then all of a sudden, I went and I can make us a nice lunch. So while he was out there, I said, hey, I'm going to go fix us a lunch. So I went inside and fixed us this great lunch, and we ate lunch at the picnic tables. And then he goes, get on the skid steer. And I'm like, oh, HE double hockey sticks. No, I am not about to get on that excavator. He goes, get on the skid steer. Judy, get on the skid steer. I'm like, Shade, I don't think this is a good idea. Get on the skid steer. And I'm like, oh my God, he's making me do this. And I was sitting there thinking it in my head, right? I was thinking, I wish I could do this. I wish I could be able to coop, blah, blah. And then when he tells me to go on get on the skid steer, I'm like, oh, no. HE double hockey sticks. No, I am not doing that. And I was like, did he hear me think, like, could he read my mind? Me sitting there saying, I wish I could do that. And then he makes me do it. Is he a mind reader? Like, what the heck? So he was like, get on the skid steer. And I'm like, oh, dear Jesus. Oh, dear Jesus. This is fitting to be bad. So he starts telling me how to use the skid steer. Okay, please keep in your brain that my property is not level. Okay. So I think if I was like on 50 acres on flat land, I wouldn't mind learning how to use this big equipment. Okay. But when you're on a hill and you're like this, you're scared, you're scared. So I get on it. He's telling me how to start it. He's telling me how to make it go, telling me how to stop it. And so, I'm doing it. But I start like, like you're in the skid steer and you're going over bumps. And you're like jumping all over the place. So my hand is on the thing that makes it go forward and reverse and turn. And when I'm bouncing all over the place from, hitting bumps and rocks and stuff, my it's going like this. And he's like, Judy, stop. I'm like, how are you supposed to push the gas when I'm halfway up in the seat because I hit a rock? So then he goes, okay, Judy, we're going down the hill. I'm like, I'm about to say bad words, right? I'm like, hockey sticks are fixing to go out the door and it's fixing to come fully out of my mouth like cuss words. He was like, look at me. You have a farm. You are getting on this skid steer and you are going to the creek. I'm like, y'all, okay, when I start going downhill, now keep in mind that when you start going, if you've never been to my farm, when you start going down the hill, there's a lot of ruts. Okay. When you're on a skid steer, you're doing this number. And I'm screaming at the top of my lungs because I'm afraid I'm going to flip it. Like because when you start, like you're on the skid steer and you hit a rut and you're like this and you're teeter and you let go of the gas, you're doing this. And there's a cliff right in front of you. And I'm like, he's about to kill me. I'm about to die. About to die. So then I don't know why. All I could think about was Diane Wood in my brain. And I was like, okay, what would Diane tell me to do? Would Diane tell me to get off this thing and run? Or would she tell me to like go do it? And I could see Diane going, you can do it, Judy. You can do it. And I'm like, all right, Diane, it's me and you, kid. And I'm like in this skid steer and I'm starting to get confidence in myself. I'm like, I can do this. I can get down this hill. This hill is like this, okay? I've never been on a skid steer a day in my life. And on each side of the skid steer is a cliff. Okay. So like one wrong turn, I'm off the cliff. And I'm thinking, okay, Diane, I almost feel like I had Diane right beside me. I'm like, okay, Diane, help me get down this hill. Y'all, I did it. I was going all the way down to the creek. Shane was loading rocks on the skid steer, and I was turning around, going up the hill, going into my farm, dumping the rocks, coming back, going down the hill, and going to get more loads. I did it all by myself. And I was like, I can't believe I just did this. Like, it took me a minute to learn how to drive the tractor. I'm a city girl, y'all. If y'all just joining me, I'm a city girl. This whole farm thing is new to me. I'm having to learn. I'm not jumping on a tractor or skid steer. That's not who I am. I'm going to put on my makeup and look cute, okay? I'm not that kind of girl. But Shane is forcing me to do things and get out of my comfort zone. And I was thinking in my head, this is probably TMI. But he was sitting at the bottom of the hill watching me. I'm like, what's he going to do? Catch me if I fall off the daggum cliff? Sure, my insurance is up today. He's just wanting to collect a paycheck. I know he ain't thinking about me. He's thinking about collecting his income when I croak. And I was like, I was on the skid steer and he was standing at the bottom of the hill watching me, kind of guiding me what to do. And I thought, I bet he is looking at me and I'm like, he is creating his dream girl. Like Shane would love a chickie mama on a skid steer. Like that is a turn on for him. For me to be sitting in a skid steer, getting all dirty, roughing it house, coming down the daggum rock. Like Shane is like, that my woman. Like, and I'm over here going, this is stupid. This is stupid. But I could see him. I could see him at the bottom of the hill. And I was thinking about it the whole time. I was like, oh, this is like, it's like he's just looking at me going, Juliet, Juliet, come to me. He had that look in his eyes when I was on the skid steer, and I was thinking, you disgust me. It's just funny how Shane and I are total opposites. And listen, when I'm in the midst of getting out of my comfort zone, I'm pissed off. Okay. I am not liking any of it. I am pissed. I'm like, I can't stand him, dadgummit. He's freaking making me get on this skid steer. And I'm thinking, man, he's just wanting to collect a freaking insurance check. I'm about to go over the side of the cliff, and he's just going to be rich because of collecting insurance and having everything paid off. And then he'll have little sugar mamas all in my house, sleeping in my bed. That's what's going through my mind. And he's at the bottom of the hill going, Juliet, Juliet, come to me with your skid steer. And I'm thinking, he is so gross. Why does this, why in the world a woman being on the skid steer, do something for him? Wouldn't you want to see me in a pretty dress, maybe in heels, instead of being in overalls, nasty, on a skid steer? Really? But he's forcing me to get out of my comfort zone. Like I said, when I'm in the midst of, I'm putting makeup on like I'm a kindergartner. I really feel like I should stop this. But after it was over, and just to let you know, I had 3 vodkas in my skid steer on the way down there because I was pouring sweat. If you're joining me, I'm not talking about vodka. I'm talking about water. I just call it vodka. People going to jump on here and see me for the first time, and then they're going to be like, she is an alcoholic. No, I'm a jokester. Anyway, after it was over, I was really proud of myself. And then I started, this is my brain. He forces me to get out of my comfort zone. I'm about to force him to do things he don't like to do. Shane, when it comes to computers, Shane is going to be that old man that's left behind. He better hope I'll outlive him, because he's going to be that old man that COVID's going to hit, and he has to order his groceries, and he's going to sit there with his finger up his nose, not knowing how to order groceries. He's going to get left behind. And I think in my head, I'm fixing to force him to do something, and I'm going to teach him. I'm going to force him to do something that he doesn't want to do. And I've got to figure out what that's going to be. The only thing I can think about what I'm good at, I could totally take him in the gym, and I could give him a total body workout like there's no tomorrow. And Shane doesn't really work out with weights. Shane would pick up a pipe to weld, and that's his workout. He ain't going to the gym picking up a dumbbell. He is not doing that. If he went to the gym, Shane would wear blue jeans, his brunt boots, and a Carhartt shirt to the gym. Or if he wore shorts, it would be black socks, white tennis shoes, and khaki shorts. That would be Shane at the dadgum gym. But I could totally get him out of his comfort zone if I took him into the gym, because he would be looking around at all these guys in muscle shirts and I don't know, what is it called? I'm like, I've gone because I haven't been in the gym so long. I can't even think of what clothes are called. But like gym shorts, like, and Shane will be over there with his black socks and his white shoes, totally out of his comfort zone. But I don't know. It may not be the gym, but I've got to figure out something to get him out of his comfort zone. And me be able to teach him something because he's teaching me like all the time. Like he's always the teacher and I'm the participant all the time. And I'm so mad that he's making me do things that I don't want to do. But at the end of the day, I'm very thankful that he's forcing me to do things that I don't want to do because I'm learning. I'm learning. Like right now, I could hop on that skid steer if I could get Kayla to learn how to do the excavator. I already know how to do the skid steer, and Kayla ain't scared. Kayla would learn in a heartbeat. But me and Kayla could go to the creek and pick up rock because it's not finished. So Kayla could get on the excavator, pick up the rock, put it in the skid steer, and I could go and put it out. And like we could do it ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Like we could do this ourselves. And I told him I was kidding with him, and I said, "Look, you start teaching me everything, I ain't gonna need you. Don't forget, don't forget that. You know, I am a little independent girl here, and if you start teaching me all this crap, I ain't gonna need you. You better think about really hard about that before you start teaching me how to do everything." Just saying. So, um, and I did a reel on this, but after right before no, right during me learning how to do the skid steer, the tracks fell off the thing. I don't know what it's called, but the tracks fell off. So then I go inside because I don't know how to fix it, right? So I go inside and I'm doing laundry and I get the dreaded phone call. Hey, yeah, come help me a second. Ah, so, so I go out there, and that means that I have to get in the skid steer and do everything that he says. Y'all remember, I've never been on a skid steer a day in my life. And he starts going, I need you to go forward, and make the tracks go this way while he tries to get it on the tracks. And I need you to go reverse and make it. Okay, well, if you're sitting in a skid steer, just to let you women know, it is loud as heck. Okay. And he's like, go. And so I know, push forward. I'm like, okay. And he goes, ho. And I'm like, what did he say? Because it's like loud in there. I was like, he did not just call me a hoe. Because he was getting mad because I was going too fast and I was going too slow. And that little throttle thing is a little sensitive. Okay. It's hard to find slow, going slow and going fast. And he starts going, go, ho. And I'm like, I got your hoe. Don't be calling me a hoe, you jackleg. I'm like I'm starting to get mad. And he was like, I'm not calling you a hoe. And I was like, oh, yes, you did, Joker. I'm hearing you calling me a hoe. And he was like, Judy, I'm saying hoe. I said, I know. And I'm about to start saying bad words to you. If you won't call me a hoe, wait till you see what fixes to flip out of my mouth. And he was like, hoe means stop. I'm like, hoe means stop? I'm like, hoe does not mean stop. A hoe is something that you like dig with, a hoe, or ho, 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 like Santa Claus, but or hoe as in you're a slut. Hoe does not mean stop. So don't make me sit here and think that you're not calling me a hoe when you're out there calling me a hoe. He was like, oh my gosh, Judy, hoe means stop. Stop. I don't know who taught him that ho means stop, but I've never heard anybody say ho and that means stop. Okay? Never in my life. And when you're sitting in a skid steer and someone's yelling go and ho, they both sound just alike. So he would say go, and I would go forward, and he'd go, oh, and I'm like, ho, go, no, slow. I couldn't understand, and I was making him so mad. I'm like, listen, you chose your wife. I've never heard a ho being called stop. I heard go and stop, but not go ho. And I was like, who taught you that a ho means stop? A hoe means slut, or it means a piece of like equipment or whatever you call it. Not equipment, but like a hoe that you hoe with. Hoe does not mean stop, Shane. And so he finally got the tracks back on. And that's when I got the wonderful opportunity and the promotion to be able to drive it down to the creek. But we got in a fist fight. We got in a fist fight. Okay, let me say this too before I forget. When I say someone cussed me out, it doesn't mean they cuss me out. It's just what I say. I guess I should choose my words because people that don't know me, when I say he cussed me out, he didn't say one bad word. I guess it's like telling someone ho to stop. It's just a slang word that I say. He cussed me out. It just means that he was being ugly. I guess I should say he was being ugly, but instead cussing me out just sounds better. It makes the story sound it makes the story sound better. But he wasn't cussing at me, okay? Because he's like, you're gonna have all your followers think that I cuss you out. And I'm like, no, I don't. That just means that you're being loud. He was like, no, you said cuss out. It's better than saying ho, calling your wife a freaking hoe. So it's just a slang term. When y'all are telling someone to stop, do you say ho? Let me see what y'all say. Shane says ho. He don't say whoa. He says ho. I was listening to him. Maybe he's saying the word wrong. But I felt as though he's calling me a ho. I was getting so mad too. I was like, if he calls me a hoe one more time, I'm about to get off this skid steer and punch him right in the guts. Like we finna fight. Some say bro. So y'all have heard of hoe as in stop? What's wrong with you folks? Y'all agreeing with Shane? My glasses are jacked. You've heard hoe your whole life. Kayla, maybe they're calling you a hoe. Maybe they're calling you a hoe, okay? Who's telling you to hoe, Kayla? Hoe? Go, hoe. I mean, I don't know. I am a city girl, so I've never heard hoe as in stop my entire life, okay? No one has said hoe out loud without me thinking they're calling me a hoe. That's just me personally. Country lazy English. Well, I guess I should go get the construction people talk dictionary because oh my goodness, what did Lisa say? Ho means to hold it. Can you imagine someone that doesn't speak English coming here and trying to learn our language? the English language is so jacked up because we create words to the English language that do not exist. And it's as if like city girls are supposed to understand this country language. You know, I mean, I've lived in Alabama my whole life in the South, okay? And I've never heard ho being called to stop. All right, guys. I got a duck pond to go clean out. And I just cleaned the son of a gun out. It's going to be a sweaty day for old Judy. We got a ceiling fan put up in the education center. We have another one to put up, but the truck is in the way. But we got a ceiling fan put up in the education center. We have the TV put up in the education center. And I have an extender coming tomorrow. Chris said that hopefully we'll get internet to the education center so that I can run my YouTube all the time. So there's a lot of things going good with the education center, but it is a money pit. I think that's what I'm going to name it, the money pit. Because I set this budget and it it ain't working. It ain't working. You know how that works, right? All right, guys. You YouTubers, the last video that I posted, I had a new ending video. What do you call that? An ending video? It was just a little short segment. I'll show it to you real quick. Hang on. And only one person, Jane, noticed it. None of you jokers noticed it. I guess y'all thought it was a commercial. Let's see. Kayla, I hope I do this right. I'm going to try to show it to you. Hang on. Let's see. Oh, wait. I got to hit this. I hit this. I hit video file. No. Downloads. No. Recents. Ah. Is that it? No, that ain't it. Hang on, y'all. Isn't that cute? All right, hang on. I got that one and I got one more that I had made. I didn't make it. You know I couldn't have done that, right? You have to pay people to do that. All right, hang on. Oh, shoot. Hang on. I hit the wrong button. Hang on. I can't find it. Where'd it go? Aren't they cute? Anyway, thanks, Jane, for noticing because I had to pay money for that. I love you guys. Remember, you have choices. You can sit it out or you can dance. And you have all week to dance. And I hope you dance. See y'all next time. Bye.